All right, we've got Monday workout A as part of phase 2 for the pre-holiday shred. We're going 60 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest for 4 movements. We'll repeat that 4 exercise circuit 4 times for a 24-minute workout. Exercise number 1 is going to be a single arm kettlebell front squat. So we're going to straddle the kettlebell and clean it, which means I'm going to take both hands, bring it up into this rack position. I want the elbow tight to the rib cage. I want this arm in a nice 45-degree angle and thumb at the sternum, at the mid-chest. The hand position is going to be right here to where the handle of the bell should be seated right onto the pads of the hand. And again, I want this kind of diagonal across my body, not like this. Keep the thumb at the sternum. Don't wing out with the elbow. Keep it tight to the rib cage. That's the rack position. Now, from here, normal squat technique. Eyes up, chest out, weight on the heels, knees out. So I'm going to sink down to back nice and slowly. I can use this arm as a nice counterbalance. Sink it down. Again, keep the chest pushed up. Keep the knees pried out. And then I should be able to wiggle the toes at the bottom and then stand back to the top. Slow, pause, explode. Slow, pause, explode. We'll do that for 60 seconds of work. Next time I come to the cycle, I'll switch arms so that I get 2 rounds on each side. Now, to make that easier, and then deadlift it back down. To make that easier, I simply go into a prayer squat, so I'm not doing any loading to it. Same concept, slow, pause, explode up. Do that for 60 seconds. I can make that even easier going into the, especially for people with knee pain, we automatically use the squat. 2 reasons. Number 1, I get to assist with the upper body, but also I can change the angle of the squat by moving my feet in and get more at a 40, not quite 45 degrees, but a slightly angled. This makes my squat a little bit more hip dominant and takes pressure off the knees. Plus I get a chance to also pull myself back up, so I'm working basically the eccentric lowering part, and I can really focus on dialing on that technique. You can even make that even further into more of a hip hinging pattern. So the TRX assisted squat is our kind of what we'll call in smart group training red lights. Now, if I want to make this harder, I could do double kettlebells and get a kettlebell on each side and perform the double kettlebell front squat. But you want to save that because we're going to be doing 3 weeks. So in weeks 1, you don't want to show all 4 progressions. Number 1, it's too much to handle. Start beginners with level 1, start the more advanced with level 2, and then throughout the workout, you can start picking and choosing who you want to bump up to level 3. 60 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, and then we're off to station number 2. All right, exercise number 2. All right, exercise number 2 is the inchworm to push-up variation. Great exercise. All body weight, requires no equipment, and the cool thing about this is we can hit both sides of the spectrum, from more mobility work for those that need that, or more strength work for those who want that. So let's start here with the basic one, kind of mobility, kind of a warm-up to get into the movement. It's the inchworm, so slightly more than hip width apart, and 2 options on getting to the floor. Number 1, for those who have the hip mobility, they can hinge at the hips into this position. For those that basically failed the hip mobility test, they didn't pass, they failed it on the leg lowering test, they're probably going to have a hard time getting to the ground. So there's going to have to be more of a modified squat. They're going to have to sink the hips down a little bit and then hinge at the hips. So based on their kind of hip anatomy, they can get in this position. And then from there, I'm going to walk it out as far as I can comfortably, walk it back up and stand. So for true beginners, that's kind of tough to get down and get back up. 60 seconds of that will rock their world. Now, your progressions for this is to not actually come back to a standing position, but to walk it out into a push-up hold, walk it back up, and continue that push-up walk-out position. From there, we can get into incorporating push-ups into it. Walk it out, it's a wide stance push-up, lower down, push back up. So you're getting a lot of upper body, arms, and abs simultaneously. From there, I can progress into doing 2 things. Number 1, stability progression. Go from wide stance to more narrow stance right here, where I'm almost hinging with my feet close together, to eventually single leg. So it's a single leg inchworm into a push-up, walk it back out. That is tough. I can also go more on the loading progression and increase more of that. So from a single leg walkout, perform 2 push-ups, back out, walk it back up. I'll stay on the same leg for the whole set and then change legs from set to set. I could even go into doing triple push-ups, things like that. So great exercise, all body weight, perform 60 seconds of that, move on to exercise number 3. Okay, exercise number 3 is the TRX bridge to row. Now in the previous movement, we worked all the muscles on the front side of the body. Now we're going to use the TRX to light up the back side. The rear shoulders, glutes, hams, the whole posterior chain, all the good stuff. Now, the setup for this is a fully lengthened position to where the handles are down about mid-calf. For this one, you want to set up to where this is in the mid-length position where the cradles are about mid-thigh. So that's going to allow me to get up underneath the anchor point. So from here, I'm going to position myself underneath, and I want to anchor my heels down and grip the handles, pull the shoulders back, and using the glutes and hams, lift the hips up in that bridge position. And then once I'm at the top, pull through, lower back down, reset, bridge, row, repeat, bridge, row, and reset after each one. So what you're getting is lower body work with the glutes and hams right here, and then upper mid back with the row. Now, I could make that easier by just coming to a higher angle, and again, I don't get the bridging aspect to that, but you can really work on strength in the upper mid back. Great exercise. It strengthens the whole backside of the body. That's a good thing. All right, 4th and final move of the circuit is going to be the dumbbell walking lunge variation. Now, there's a lot of variations in this, probably as many as 6 to 8 different versions you could use. For week 1, we're just going to implement level 1, level 2, level 1 for beginners, level 2 for the more advanced, and then pick and choose some of the high performers that want to go into level 3. But teaching-wise, just level 1, level 2, keep it simple. So let's start. Level 1A is going to be the TRX self-assisted split squat. So we're working to where we can come up, back down. Now, some may not be able to get down to this position, so they start from the top and do even a smaller version of it, which is just a half split squat, self-assisting to a 3/4 split squat, and then progressing to where they can get all the way on the floor, 90-90s, pull themselves back up. They'll switch legs at the halfway mark. From there, kind of level 1A to level 1B is to get into lunging patterns. Now I'm going to start in that alternating lunging. Once I can get the knee all the way down, staying nice and tall at the top, and then from here, I could even go into like holding the handles lighter. I can go to just one arm, progressing there, and initially that's going to set me up for level 2, which is body weight, no TRX. So we go from level 1A, level 1B using the TRX, level 2, just body weight. 2 options for this. Alternating reverse lunges, and again, if this was too much, I would go back to TRX. If this was too easy, and you see people that are ready to go to the next level, go from alternating reverse lunges to alternating forward lunges. So this is a change, this is a stability progression, because I'm changing my base of support, so I'm less stable in the forward lunge than I am in the reverse lunge, okay? So reverse easier, forward harder. So from there, and a lot of people, that's where you can go. You can teach those 2 versions. That way you're not spending time in your workout teaching 8 to 10 different versions of the lunge. TRX or body weight. Now progressions from there, once you see people can get into that, now we get into from body weight walking lunges into the full walking lunge. Walk it, walk it, walk it. Now you can also come to the middle reset here, or not reset, where I would just go from here, step into the next one, step into the next one. That's a little bit more advanced. So a lot of options there. So we've got basically level 1 TRX, level 2 alternating reverse or forward, level 3 would be walking variation, level 4 would be walking variations with dumbbell load. So then you would get, for the really high performers later on, have them get a pair of dumbbells and walk with it at the side, and from there you can go, so that's a loading progression. So you got tempo progressions, stability progressions, loading progressions, and there's some other things too you can even integrate into that movement. So a lot of good stuff. That's the fourth and final move. Repeat the circuit, 60 on 30 off, 4 cycles, 24 minutes. Get it.